Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be filming a relationship advice video for you all. I'm sorry this video is slightly different to all my other videos. I've changed angles a little bit and I'm sat in my comfy clothes and I haven't done my makeup. I've literally got a day old makeup from school today as I got home earlier and realised I hadn't filmed this video yet and I really wanted to film it all for you. So that is what I'm doing. So I'm sorry I look a little bit of a mess and that this is just our setup for right now, but this can be a kind of cozy video, just a chatty video, so I really hope you enjoy watching it. And yeah, I'm going to get into the advice. So a little bit background, I have mentioned this before on my channel in one of my very first videos, but I am in a long-term relationship. I have been with my boyfriend now for 3 years this October and we are very happy. We are so young, so I just do want to start this video by saying this is the only experience that I have for relationships. I'm just going off my own personal experience and things that I've observed of other people's relationships. Obviously I've not been in those relationships, so I don't know the full extent or story of those relationships. So I'm mainly going off what I've found and just the advice that's really helped me. So yeah, we've been together 3 years and obviously I'm only 16 and I was 13 when we started dating and turned 14 the week after we started dating. Never ever thought that I'd be in this relationship for this length of time, but that's the way it's worked out and I am so grateful for that. So I'm going to get into the advice. So a piece of advice I have for all of you is make sure, well, everyone always says communication is key. So make sure you communicate with your partner about literally everything. Just talk. Talking is so important. You need to just talk about everything, even the small stuff. So one thing I've found over the years is that if I'm worried about something, if I've just got something on my mind, because I'm quite an overthinker, if I've just got something on my mind, I need to get it out and I need to talk about it and I need to make sure that my partner is aware of my thoughts, because then I feel free and I feel like he knows what's going on, so I've spoken about it, you know, so we're kind of on the same page. He gets why I'm feeling like that, he gets why I'm feeling the way I am, he understands that I'm maybe feeling this way because of something that's gone on, and I just tell him about literally everything that I think I need to talk about. Obviously this depends on the type of person you are. I'm a very talkative, chatty person and my partner isn't as much of a talkative, chatty person, so he probably tells me less than I tell him. However, I think as long as you are talking about everything, also it doesn't have to be just little things, it can be really big things, but you need to talk about it. If something's upsetting you or frustrating you, or you're just not feeling good about something, you haven't got a nice vibe about something, you just need to talk about it. And most of the time, like 90% of the time, just talking about it completely fixes the problem. And a lot of the time there can be miscommunications, there can be, well, for me, I'm quite an anxious person, so I might overthink something and read a situation completely differently to how someone who doesn't overthink it reads the situation. And I might have thought, oh my god, that's so terrible, that is a terrible situation, when it wasn't, and I was just completely overthinking it, and I didn't need to be overthinking it. And just talking about it gave me that reassurance that I didn't need to be thinking like that, it wasn't a bad situation, and everything was fine, and it was all gonna be fine. Also, I feel like as the years go on, communication is something that struggles a bit. I've noticed it in other people's relationships, in relationships that are in my family, that slowly the relationships finds that they can't, the two people find that they can't talk to each other as much about everything, and they get frustrated with each other behind each other's backs and don't talk about everything that's going on and all their feelings towards each other, and genuinely have a very deep chat, just a genuine talk about what is going on. And I think that is so important and is really needed in every relationship, not just a love relation, not just a, what do you call it, a love relationship, do you know what I mean? I mean not just a kind of love relationship, a more you know, I say love relationship, but I don't really know what else to call it. There is a word for it, but I've completely forgotten. You know, even in relationship with siblings, relationship with parents, you need to talk about it. So I just feel like that's a really key one. Just make sure you're talking about everything, because most of the time, because you are together, you must have gotten well, and most of the time you can resolve the issues. And a lot of people break up when they don't need to because they've just had a miscommunication with each other. And yeah. Okay, so another big one, and I feel like applies to people of more my age group, is don't become dependent on your partner. So I find this happens a lot with people my age. They get into a relationship, they get really close to that person, they are so in love, which is so lovely, but then they become really dependent on that person for their happiness, and they don't feel happy in it, they don't feel fulfilled, they don't feel completely satisfied unless they are with that person. And I personally have been guilty of this previously. I think everyone probably has been at some point in their life, if it's not a partner but maybe a friend or a family member, but it's something you can work on. I realised I was becoming really dependent on my boyfriend probably like last year, and I realised that I wasn't really enjoying myself. I was always thinking of him in every single situation, which is really nice and naturally happens. You know, I still think of him in every situation, but I'm not dependent on him being in that situation for me to be happy anymore. And it's something you really have to learn, and I think it's something that's quite hard about young people's relationships, because being younger, you obviously don't know that you can be you haven't learnt yet that you can be your own person while in a relationship. And I just think not depending on that person is really vital for your relationship lasting and working out, because you have to be your own two separate people, which is another one of my advice, my tips. You have to be your own separate people that come together because it makes you happy. You are together in a relationship as two separate human beings, but you want to be together because you get on so well and you enjoy spending time with each other. You aren't in a relationship because they make you happy and no one else does. It's a really hard cycle to get out of, because obviously that person's always going to make you super happy. Everybody makes you happy in your life. That's why they're in your life, or that's why they should be in your life. But it's just really hard sometimes to let go and let that person do their own thing. And I did struggle with it for a while, but now I feel much better about it, and I feel like I do understand better that I don't need that person to be happy. I can be happy with my friends without that person. I can be happy with spending time with my family without that person being there. And they can have their own life while I'm doing my stuff, and we can still be in a happy, loving relationship. Just remember that. And also, leading on from that, being your own two separate people is really, really key, because you don't want your life just to be all about them. You don't want their life just to be all about you, because it can be suffocating. It can be way too much, and I feel like, especially with being young, you get wrapped up in your first love, the craziness, the turmoil, the amazing feelings that you get with that. And I feel like it is so hard to remember that you need other relationships in your life. You need to be two separate people. You have two separate goals, and you don't want to be doing the same thing because you're not the same person. That's why you work together so well, because you're not the same person. You're two people that get on so well. And I think this is so key. I think it's possible for you to spend 24 hours, 7 days a week with each other. That is completely possible. Many couples do that. However, I think it can be quite taxing, because sometimes you want to be alone, and sometimes you want to spend time with your friends, and sometimes you want to just have a minute with your mum or your dad, and you don't want anyone else to be there. You just want to talk to someone on your own without them there, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you don't like them, that doesn't mean you don't get on, that doesn't mean that they've done anything wrong. That literally just means that you're your own person, and that's great, and you have your own things, and you might be at school with them, and you don't need to spend every lunchtime with them. You don't need to be with them every second of the day that you can be. You don't need to take the same subjects as them to be able to sit next to them in every class. They can have their own life, they can have their own friendship group, and you can have your own friendship group. And if those friendship groups mix, absolutely great. but you don't need to be with them all of the time, and that is okay. And it's okay for you to be with them if that's what makes you both really happy, but you have to remember that the other person might have a different view to you. So you might be like, oh, I want to be with this person all of the time because they make me really happy and I just want to spend my time with them. But the other person, your partner, might be like, I want to spend some time with my friends sometimes. I want to go on a bike ride sometimes without that person. I want to go swimming. I want to read a book on my own, and that's okay. You need to remember that you don't have to be with them all the time. They can have time with their friends. You can have time with your friends, and that is great, and that is really healthy for your relationship to spend time apart as well as spend time together. I often find that I grow on my own better when I'm apart from my partner, just because I'm able to think about me and not think about anyone else. In lockdown I grew so much as a person, and it was really hard being apart from my partner, but I grew on my own, and I feel so much better for having had that time apart, despite absolutely missing him so much. I feel really good for having known that I can do it. I can get through on my own, and I still really, really want him, and I still treasure our relationship despite me being more grown person, I guess. Is that what you'd call it? Don't really know. But just being two separate people is really good and really healthy, and you have to remember that you are two separate people and you can do things separately, and that's okay. And another thing is enjoy your time together. You don't want to force anything. You might be in a mood one day. You might be, you know, if you live with each other, then you might be really struggling to remember that you have an amazing person in your life who is caring for you and loving you, and if they're not, they shouldn't be in your life, but who, you know, who would do absolutely anything for you. But sometimes it can be a little bit hard to be grateful for that person every single day. And so this is your reminder to be grateful for that person. They are trying their absolute best just as you are, and they love you just as much as you love them. And sometimes you just need to step back from the moment and be like, I need to enjoy this. I'm so grateful for this person. And sometimes it can be really hard to enjoy the everyday things, like going to the shops and just looking around for them and not looking around for yourself, or doing something you didn't really want to do but you're doing it because you know they'll absolutely love it. Just enjoying your time together and being grateful for that person because they love you, and you just have to remember that sometimes you need to show your gratitude, because it can be really easy to forget that you're grateful for that person, and that person isn't always guaranteed to be there. So you have to remember to be grateful and just take a minute and just take a step back. And that's actually really, really helped me truly appreciate my relationship and just truly rationalise it. Just really rationalised it for me and made it really present in my life, and made it one of the key things that I am able to focus on. Another thing is be relaxed. Don't be too controlling of your relationship. Like I said before, being two separate people is so important, and I feel like it's very It's very prominent in young people to be scared to love someone, to be quite vulnerable and quite controlling of the relationship, because you don't want to be relaxed and easygoing if you're scared of that person breaking your heart or not being with you when you need it. And honestly, for so long I had my walls up. I was so scared that this person I love was going to break my heart, because that's, that happens and you hear about it all the time, and I've had other boys in my life who have screwed me over before then. But you just have to let go. You have to trust, and trusting is so hard, and it's one of the things that took me the longest to build up. And just let your gut instinct guide you, because I knew I could trust my boyfriend from the minute I met him. I knew that he was trustworthy and I could trust him. However, other people will be like, oh, be careful, he might break your heart. Or you hear stories of people being in a relationship and their partner cheating on them or doing some horrible things, and it is so hard to focus on your relationship and the person you're with and your instincts and knowing what type of person they are. And this isn't easy, but trust is so key in a relationship. And I just think being able to let go, you know, lots of girls don't like their boyfriends talking to other girls, or their girlfriends talking to other boys, or girlfriends talking to girlfriends, or boyfriends talking to boyfriends, whatever that is, whatever relationship it is. Sometimes they don't like them talking to people other than them, but it's okay. It's okay for you to talk to other people and have friends, because why not? And it may take your partner might be someone who doesn't understand that. I, for a while, was not trusting and really struggled to understand why my partner would want to talk to anyone else but me. And that is so selfish, and I'm so glad that I've been able to grow as a person and get through that, because I think that's definitely not an easy thing. And it does take time, and I think it does take maturity, and obviously I'm not mature yet, I'm only 16, and I'm sure more will come with time. And it's really hard, especially if you've been through a rough relationship before, or you've had your wall completely, you know, you've had your wall up for so long, and it can be really hard. But trusting that right person and just loving with all of your heart, because you'll never find someone who is right for you if you're loving them half-heartedly. You're not giving everything because you're too scared, and as soon as you love someone fully, then it's either going to go two ways. Either it's not going to work out, or it is. But until you love someone fully, you'll never know which way it goes. And it is the hardest thing, and I think it's so hard because you don't want to be heartbroken, you don't want to have to go through that pain, you don't want to put yourself through that. But sometimes that's needed, and one of my key sayings in life, and one thing that is going to be prominent in this video, is everything happens for a reason. I strongly believe in that, and I strongly believe that if that guy breaks your heart, then he was meant to break your heart for a reason. That broken heart is going to heal and find someone so much more amazing for you, and so much more suited to you, and just the person that knows your worth, someone that knows you. Another thing is, a really big thing that I strongly believe in, is be best friends. Be best friends before boyfriend and girlfriend. Be best friends before girlfriend and girlfriend, or boyfriend and boyfriend, whatever your relationship is. Be best friends. Because at the end of the day, if you're gonna get married and have children and grow up and grow old together, then you want to enjoy your time with that person. You want to have laughs, you want to have fun, you want to be joking about, and know that that person's never going to judge you because they're your best friend, and they're as weird as you, they're as crazy as you, and they get you. They get your humour, they get your jokes, they get your sarcasm, and that is the number one thing I think is key to a long-term relationship. With friendship comes trust, with friendship comes love, just naturally, and the rest of it just all happens naturally, in terms of, you know, your best friend might progress into something more, you might be attracted to, you become attracted to them, and obviously getting in a relationship so young for me meant I was able to be best friends with my partner first. I was able to grow with him and be best friends with him, and just build the foundations of our relationship on friendship. We were just best friends. Yeah, we were attracted to each other, but at 13 we were best friends. We were so close. We are still best friends to this day, and you know, he is my best friend, and I think that's the most important thing, because with your best friend you can talk about anything. You know that they know all your secrets, they know all of your worries, and they never ever judge you for them, and you know each other's, and you have that mutual trust, and you talk about everything, and then that trust comes naturally because you know everything about that person and they know everything about you. You can have other best friends too, you don't just have to have one best friend, but them being a best friend is so key, because it's going to make your journey of life so much more enjoyable having a best friend. So if you don't get on well with someone but you're attracted to them, it's just not going to work. It's, you know, if you don't get on well and you're only in it because you're attracted to them, it's only going to be a short-term thing, and that is just the truth. You know, you might, if you want to give it a shot, then you might become friends with them, and that's okay, that's all good. But it's just really hard to have a relationship without friendship. So having friendship is definitely a key component of a relationship, I'd say. Also, don't rush anything. Don't rush into a relationship because you think this person is going to be the best person ever for you. Don't rush in. You have time. Just talk to them, become friends with them, you know, build up. You don't need to rush anything. You don't need to go into pressure, under the pressures of society, and get married at 21 or not get married at 21 if that's what you want to do. Just enjoy each other and enjoy your time together and enjoy everything that life has to offer just with your partner. I'm going to say a lot of people in my year, a lot of my friends ask me, how can you be in a long-term relationship at this age? Surely you just want to go out and have fun and get with loads of people. And, you know, some of my friends do that, and that's okay, that's them. But for me, I don't find anything more enjoyable than just being with my partner, and that's okay. You know, I'd much prefer to stay in and watch a movie and cuddle rather than go out and have fun at a party and be with lots of different people. You know, I can still enjoy a party with my friends, but I don't feel the need to be with loads and loads of different people like some people my age do. And that's okay. Just be yourself. You know, don't feel like because you're at sixth form you need to enjoy your time, or because you're at university you need to have the full university experience. If, you know, later in life you think you're going to regret not having that full university experience, then go ahead and have that full university experience. If you don't think you're going to, or you know you won't regret it because you don't regret things in life, then that's okay too. Just do you. And I think that's one of the hardest balances in a relationship, is listening to people's advice who you trust and get on with, but also making sure you're thinking about you and what you want. And you just really need to think over things if that is the case, if you've got conflicting ideas from other people and yourself, because sometimes you know what's best for you and no one else does, and sometimes other people know what's best for you and you don't, and that's okay. You just have to work that one out. As I said before, everything happens for a reason, whether that's you deciding or them deciding. And another thing is, don't give up. I watched the Sakoni Jolies on YouTube, and in one of the vlogs a while ago, Jonathan Sakoni Jolie actually said a lot of relationships fail because people give up too soon. And this is so true. So obviously, if you're not in the right relationship, you'll know that, and you can give up on someone. But if you've had one argument and you're in a really sad place because you've had an argument and you say, I think we should just break up, that's giving up. If you know that you could get through that argument and you want to get through that argument, you will. And I just think you won't give up on the right person, so you'll know that. You'll know who the right person is because you won't give up on them. And obviously I don't know. I'm only 16. I'm going to keep saying this. I am only 16, so I don't know if this is completely true. But, you know, take it as you will. If you're older than me, then maybe go watch another video. Because I only know from my experience. But me and my partner have had multiple arguments before. Of course we have. You're naturally going to argue in a relationship, and that's okay. It's part of the relationship. Obviously too much arguing is not part of the relationship, but just the general bicker and, you know, the jokey arguments and a couple of occasional arguments that last, you know, more time. But usually we only really argue when I'm tired at night and he's tired and we both just want to get to sleep, but we haven't sorted something out, so we're like, oh, can you just sort it? Can you just sort it? And it goes on like that. But that's okay. And if you love that person and you want to make it work with that person, don't just give up on it after one argument. Don't give up. Don't give up if you're going through a lot of hardship. There'll be some months that are so much harder than others. There'll be some times when you can't see each other, and that makes it a lot harder to keep a good, happy relationship. But if you don't give up, I promise you it'll be so worth it. And you know that person, and you know if you want to be with them. And it's just so easy to get caught up in everything else and just think, oh, it's easier without a relationship. But if you want that relationship and you want that person and you want to make it work, then you have to fight through the hard times and find that love in those hard times, and even sometimes get through those hard times with that person. But always remember when you're arguing that it's not you two against each other, it's problem against you two. So you can get through arguments together. You need to come to a resolution. Remember that what you say in an argument isn't always easily forgotten, and just remember to be kind, and remember that an argument is only temporary usually, and so probably in the morning when you've woken up and you've actually thought about it, it's all going to be over and you'll be like, why were we arguing over that? That was so silly. So, you know, don't take it to heart too much, just don't give up on them, and just let an argument happen and get through it, and you'll come out stronger. And hard times are always there to test you, and you're always going to come out stronger. You know, the lockdown and being apart from my boyfriend meant we came out so much stronger, and we appreciate our time together so much more than we did before, because we know that that's a privilege and that may not always happen. Obviously this situation is so rare, but it could happen again, sadly, and you know, just having that appreciation just really helps your relationship, and you're wanting to spend that time together because you know how much value that relationship adds to your life, which is so important. Okay, and my last bit of advice for you all is a bit light-hearted and a little bit silly, but it's take pictures. Make sure you take pictures all the time, because we took pictures at the start of our relationship, but I wish we'd taken more, because it's so nice to see how you progress and just remember all your memories together. And you know, even if it's not going to be a long-term relationship, it's nice to look back on those things and remember that time of your life. And this seems so silly, but if it is going to be a long-term relationship and you end up getting married to that person, you end up living together forever and ever and ever, the absolute dream, then you're going to want those pictures. You're going to want the pictures to show your grandchildren. You're going to want the pictures to show so many people, and you're going to want those pictures just to look back on and have amazing memories. And sometimes when we're going through hard times or I'm missing my partner, looking through pictures is such a nice thing, and just having all those pictures of you two together is just so nice, and I promise you will not regret having loads of pictures together. So yeah, that is everything for this video. I hope I didn't do too badly. I know I'm only 16 and I know some of the things I said I'll look back on in a couple of years and be like, oh my god, why did I say that, or why did I think that? And that's okay, because that's part of life. Anyways, that's it for this video. So I really hope that you found some of this advice at least a little bit helpful. And if you did, please make sure to like this video and subscribe down below. And I will see you again very soon for another video. Bye!